Esmeraldas Haus? Ne, das ist gerade aus Bürgermeisters. Esmeralda war hier unten, genau. Also die Geschichte scheint schon am logischsten, dass irgendjemand an diesen Steinen interessiert war. Weil, sagen wir mal so, Esmeralda hat, gehen wir mal davon aus, Esmeralda hat das Ding wie sonst gemietet, ja? Und Ratsmitglied Jake ist dazu gestoßen. Und dann ist aber eine weibliche Frau noch dazu gestoßen, haben ja manche berichtet, die Jake umgebracht hat. Und irgendwie muss Esmeralda ja da auch rausgekommen sein. Das ist die Frage, die sich jetzt stellt. Da ist Esmeralda. Ah, ich will keinen Fischclan, ich will mit Esmeralda reden.
Lords above, grant me patience. You're a source hunter, aren't you? Here because you think I killed my husband. How many times do I need to state and restate my complete innocence in the matter?
Wer seid ihr?
I am Esmeralda, wife of Jake, and now, alas, his widow. Poor man. We were both so young when we married. He so rich and I so poor. But his one and only princess just the same.
Könnt ihr mir mehr über diesen Ort erzählen?
Well, what do you want to know?
Über die Stadt im Allgemeinen.
Never imagined that finding a quarter pound of mouldy, moth-eaten flour would be a cause for celebration in this city. How things have changed.
Erzählt mir etwas über die Untoten.
Sometimes I forget they're even out there, to be honest. Remember above all to stay behind the wall, we tell our children. And when you've been heeding your own advice for seasons on end, you almost start to forget what the fuss was about in the first place. Better not to, though. They're still out there, the dead, and from the looks of it, they'll always be.
Sprechen wir über den Mord an eurem Mann.
Like I told just about every legionnaire in town, I don't know anything about poor Jake's murder. I want his killer found and tried, but everyone suspects me of this evil deed. And you're no different, are you? So what happened? Some of them tittle-tattling crab chasers down the pub call me a murderous gold digger and you believe them? These insinuations truly go beyond the pale. Oh, I think I'm getting one of my headaches.
Soll ich sagen, dieser Liebesbrief sieht mir irgendwie nach belastendem Material aus?
Na klar.
Oh, don't put stock in the hastily scribbled words of a lovelorn fool. This letter, it was a show of passion. A poorly worded passion I did not echo in the least. The Duke, he's like a spoiled child. He's not a man. He's not like Septimus.
Mir ist zu Ohren gekommen, dass euer Mann einen sogenannten Sternenstein gefunden hat. Könnt ihr mir mehr darüber verraten?
Starstone? I've never heard of such a thing. Dear Jake had a mineral collection, yes. As far as I knew, it was one of his pastimes, nothing more. Do you mean to imply he collected something dangerous? Something that may have gotten him into trouble? Oh, this is all too much. I feel like I'm drifting from nightmare into nightmare.
Gut, ich bin mal weg.
Quite adamant about her innocence.
We'll need to look for evidence if we want to prove she actually did the evil deed.
Ja,
Tja.
die Frage ist jetzt... Die Frage ist jetzt, sollten wir bei... Ich gehe jetzt mal hier hoch. Ist hier jemand? Nö, ne?
Ne? Aber sollte es trotzdem nichts klauen.
Ah, stimmt.
Guck mal, jetzt seine Steinsammlung. Also gelogen hat sie schon mal nicht.
Ja, aber... Schlüssel zu Esmeraldas Haus. Lup.
If only the popular girls from the Source Academy could see how edgy and dangerous you've become.
Hast du jetzt den Schlüssel geklaut oder was?
Ja.
Nee.
Ja, wir müssen noch nach... Halt. müssen doch gucken, ob nachts vielleicht die Leute, wenn sie schlafen gehen, ne? Gehen wir mal zum Bürgermeister. Vielleicht weiß der Bürgermeister was. Kommst du?
Ja. Oh, haben wir nicht schon mit dem geschwatzt?
Ja, vielleicht haben wir neue Erkenntnisse. Da ist die Katze, da ist Cecil.
What? Oh, it's you. Come closer then. Closer.
Ne, ich glaube nicht, dass wir
My
ihn
ears aren't
schaffen.
what they used to be. Nor my eyes, for that matter. Yes, hello, Source Hunter. Our city welcomes you.
Erzählt mir von euch.
My elf? What elf? Oh, myself. I am Cecil, Mayor of Sicil, and husband of the stately Cecilia. I've been the mayor here for decades, and I'm quite eager to see Sicil through these difficult times. Yes, very difficult times indeed.
Erzählt mir, was in Sicil los ist.
Oh, what? Oh, you mean Sicil? Very difficult times indeed. As though the death of Jake and by source magic no less weren't enough. We're also facing all sorts of brutish intruders. The undead have overrun all but one northern trade route, while the orcs are making a habit of savaging our beaches. That's not to mention that at the top of this whole caboodle, there's rumors of some new religious sect or cult or some such, sticking its tendrils into the innocent, seven-fearing folks of Sicil. And, while we're on the subject of troubles, I myself have a private matter I'd like to bring to your attention. It involves a magic relic I rather foolishly sought. A weapon called the Staff of Pergamon.
Was hat das mit diesem Stab des Pergamon auf sich?
What of what now? Oh, you're speaking gibberish. Ah, you mean the Staff of Pergamon. Yes, yes. I was expecting a shipment of weapons, and among the cargo was this very powerful, very rare staff. I managed to place the order through means somewhat, atypical to a government official. Cecil proved an old fool, though, for the merchant slated to deliver it to me has just informed me that the damn thing has gone missing. I fear it may have fallen into the wrong hands, and I wonder if you could retrieve it for me.
Erzählt mir von dem Händler.
His name is Conrad, captain of the Tide
Aha.
Splitter, a merchant ship still docked at the Sicil harbor. You can talk to him if you think it'd help, but I'd quite like to avoid getting the Legion involved, if you don't mind.
Was wisst ihr über den Stab selbst?
The staff itself contains a shard of an ore, highly valued for its use in the weapons of war. I know use of the material to be forbidden, but I was desperate to do something to aid the townsfolk against the undead.
Okay, erzählt mir mehr von den Undead, wollte ich auch schon sagen, von den Untoten.
What? The undead? Yes, for the past 2 years, those blasted skeletons have all but suffocated this city. With all but one trade route overrun, Sicil's once torrential commerce has slowed to a pathetic trickle.
So, bevor wir zum Mord kommen, erzählt mir doch noch was über die Sekten in den Rebellion, von denen ihr eben gesprochen habt.
Well, I do believe that's something your parents ought to have discussed with you long ago, Source Hunter. But I suppose if you really don't know,
Oh je.
I'd be remiss
Oh
if
nein.
I didn't at least explain the basics.
So?
Ah, you see, when a lady and a fellow find each other rather
Du kannst die
nice,
Texte lesen,
well,
ne?
Also,
more than nice, they occasion... Oh, this is nonsense. I'm the mayor for the seventh sake. I can't be bothered to chat all day about the birds and the bees when Sicil's under siege by orcs, undead, and cultists.
ein tauber Sack, der Kerl, oder?
Ja.
Jake, murdered? Oh, yes. Yes, now I recall. Indeed. I could hardly believe it myself. The Council and I have certainly had our differences over the years, but old squabbles evaporate under such circumstances. Most of the townsfolk are certain Jake's wife Esmeralda is responsible. In fact, the Legion have taken her into protective custody to keep her safe from the mob. As you can imagine, I've known Esmeralda for years. That business between her and the Duke of Ferrol was always a bit suggestive. but I've never had cause to suspect her of violence. Still, one never knows for sure.
Er erzählt mir von dem Herzog.
An all-right bloke, apart from all this Esmeralda nonsense. The whole town knows the only goal of his business trips to Sicil is to spend a night or two at the King Crab Inn with Mrs. Counselor.
Ich habe mich den Fantastischen Fünf angeschlossen und sie haben einen Auftrag erwähnt.
Oh yes, the Fabulous Five. Aren't they simply fantastic? I'm sure they'll get the job done in no time, especially with your expert hand lent to their cause. That machine Ahu built is an abomination. It must be stopped at all costs. I bet the wizard himself could provide some advice regarding how to destroy it. He's the mad scientist who crafted it after all.
Könnt ihr mir über eure Bibliothek erzählen?
That depends. What kind of berries are you interested in exactly?
Die Bücherbären.
Ah, the library. Yes, yes, you must have a visit. It's the gem of Sicil. Would you like to have a look? I'll escort you upstairs myself.
Oh,
Ja, los hoch.
Marvelous. Follow me then.
I knew that dark-dealing old man dabbled in source. To the gap.
Demonology for dumbbells. Ugh. I need something more advanced. Is there no new book to be discovered in this library?
My Victoria has every volume you could possibly imagine, and she's got every speck of information about this place packed into her brilliant brain. Yes, Victoria's come a long way from that little bundle of claws and teeth I adopted so long ago. Ah, it brings a tear to my eye just seeing her here among her beloved
Kannst ja kurz sagen,
books.
was du sagst zu ihm.
What? Oh, yes, yes. I'll be on my way back downstairs now.
Ich sag ja gar nichts,
Please
mach immer nur
introduce
weiter.
yourself. I know Victoria will be happy to make your acquaintance.
Library?
Da gab's keine Dialogauswahl.
Wo ist denn jetzt Jehan?
Demonology for dumbbells. Ugh. I need something more advanced. Omnes autem mali demonis quam. What? What is this? Who are you to interrupt my musings? By Naga the Protector, they have the manners of boors, these boatmen of Sicil. Oh, but perhaps I spoke too soon. Perhaps I was mistaken, for you hardly resemble the local fisherfolk, which, incidentally, is a compliment of copious dimensions indeed. No, a source hunter, that is what you are. Yes, a stalker of sorcery, a chaser of charms pernicious. In truth, I cannot go so far as to say it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, for I take no pleasure in the company of man. But it may just be to our mutual advantage to join forces nonetheless.
Man wollte denn gemeinsame Sache machen.
Why, simply because you hunt source, and I, Jehan, hunt demons. You are aware, of course, that quite often both of these pests frequent the same shadowy pools of infamy. Now, I hate what I hunt, but I respect its cunning. Should I not, I'd have been decimated, body and soul, long since. This is a sentiment I'm quite certain you must recognize. Let there be strength in cunning, yes, but also in numbers. The calculus of wizardry I offer you, the might of the magician's mastermind. On one condition, that on our joint travels we will never deal with demonic entities, no matter how tempting their propositions. Give me your word on this, and I'll weave you spells.
Tja, wollen wir ihn mitnehmen?
We'll have to pay yet another
Was?
fine.
Nein.
Okay.
I don't like to make promises I may not be able to keep, so I must decline your offer.
I concur. Some temptations just cannot be resisted.
The blushing bottom.
Oh, simple souls. Oh, doomed spirits. What tangled webs you'd weave. But I won't be a fly to be caught in them. Begone. Reflect. And if you should see the light, I will be here in the library. For now, you are not worthy of my devotion.
Wie viele Gruppenmitglieder kann man eigentlich haben?
Volume 2.
4.
Where's
Ja,
the
4 nur.
one gone? Shucks.
Dann bräuchten wir einen Heiler.
Sometimes I think these books sprout little legs in the night.
Lesser key of
Ja, irgend sowas.
What nonsense.
Kann ja jeder theoretisch lernen.
Pseudomonarchia
Oh, was ist
Daemonum.
das denn?
And the first edition too.
Na,
In the name
Victoria.
of Amon-Hor, I bid thee
Die
Tushta Geta Hal.
Tochter.
Be welcome, human. My library is yours, as I hope your friendship is mine. I am Victoria, daughter of Mayor Cecil. Oh, I know what you're thinking. The likeness isn't exactly striking, is it? When I was very young, you see, I must have been cast out by my tribe, for I was found in a wicker basket floating past Sicile toward the sea. The fisherman who found me would have drowned me on the spot, for I am an orc after all. But praise be Amon-Hor, dear Cecil was among the gathered crowd, and he took pity on the exiled infant that chance had put in his way. He raised me like I was his own, this kindest of souls, taught me the language of men, their customs and their letters. Thus, I became the city's librarian, a position I uphold with no small diligence and pride. Indeed you may. The wisdom I here hoard is yours to peruse and even take with you. All I can ask is that you return the books you borrow so that others may enjoy them too.
Okay.
No, this isn't the grimoire I'm looking for. The
Bücher lesen.
Encyclopedia Daemonium. I know it by heart.
A sauce hunter! Oh, what a sight for sore Sicilian eyes! Me? I live alone here in town. Used to be that my younger brother Tom and I were practically joined at the hip, but that's all changed now.
Daemonium.
Oh, he's
know
always
it
been
by
something of a rascal, calling his petty hooliganism adventuring and endlessly worrying my poor mind. Oh, but of course, I've always loved that scamp to bits. For my part, I encouraged him to join the Legion. Even got him sparring with Captain Aureus now and then. But then those blasted Fabulous Five came into town. That band of... I don't even know what to call them. Well, they're his heroes, and I simply couldn't prevent him from going to see them. That one meeting was all it took for Tom to run off with them on some mission to God knows where.
Gut, ich geh mal.
Something more advanced. The
Ich
Pseudomonarchia
lese noch ein paar Bücher.
Daemonum. And the first edition too. Most promising.
Novels? Rack. Mayhem.
The lesser key of Salacandras. Ugh, what nonsense.
Kaltpommes, wer will denn sowas?
The Encyclopedia Daemonium. I know it by heart.
Who placed this book here? A volume of poetry among novels? Rack. Mayhem.
Demonology for dumbbells. Ugh. I need something
Cash
more
dinner.
advanced. Is there no
History of
new
sorcery
book
still
to be
hasn't been
discovered in this
returned.
library?
Celeron will have to pay yet another fine.
Ja, okay, ich glaube, wir haben alles durch.
No, this isn't the grimoire.
Aber guck mal, ich habe
I'm
eins
looking
für dich gefunden.
The Pseudomonarchia Daemonum. And the first edition too.
Guck in deinem Inventar.
Most promising.
Du musst es nur lesen. Dann habe ich es da auch.
Nein, das ist ein Zauberspruch.
Third one.
Ach so. Das ist ja nett.
Sometimes I think these books sprout little legs in the night.
No, this isn't the grimoire
Gut.
I'm looking for.
Dann geh mal.
Is there no new book to be discovered in this library?
Ich habe ja diesen inaktiven Stein gefunden. Ne? Bei dem
Ja.
Mord. Szene. Warte mal, was kann man denn jetzt machen? Tom, der möchte gerne Abenteurer. Okay, kopfloser Nico. Ah genau, zum Hafen sollten wir jetzt gehen.
Jo, ein Captain reden.
Sorry. Falls man das hören konnte. Aber wir gehen jetzt mal zum Hafen. Wir können ja dann kurz Pause einlegen, bevor wir mit Konrad reden.
Mit Conny.
Bist du schon da oder bist du noch unterwegs?
Ich habe noch ein paar Bücher gelesen. Ich glaube, jetzt habe ich alle. Ne, jetzt noch eins.
I can't even smell the sea air over this pond.
Na gut, dann reden wir noch mit Conny. Meine Güte, wie viele Bücher findest du da?
Da liegen halt jede Menge rum.
No, he didn't. He drove it straight to the pub and back.
So, Konrad.
Ahoy, sailor! Are you enjoying the fresh winds of Sicile?
Erzählt mir von euch.
Name's Conrad. Cargo trader, sea captain, an expert in all things nautical. Folks across Andervale know to give old Conrad a holler when it comes to rare imports and magical items.
Was wisst ihr über den Stab des Pergamon?
Aye, that Cecil's worse than a rooster. Crowing all around town about matters he ought to know are better kept quiet. Well, if you know about the staff, I suppose you also know it's gone without a trace.
Spurlos verschwunden.
For my part, I haven't a clue where it
Tja,
could have
ich habe
gone.
alle Bücher durch.
Overboard, stolen or vanished into thin air. Though I'm quite eager to see it return, I've got a reputation to uphold, you know.
Also er weiß nicht, ob er über Bord gegangen ist, gestohlen wurde oder dass er einfach in Luft aufgelöst hat, aber er will, dass wir ihn wiederfinden, um seine Ruf zu verteidigen.
Wouldn't hurt to ask some of my men. I tried myself, but sailors tend to be a bit tight-lipped when they're afraid of getting one another in some trouble. Seaman's code, you know. Not to rat out a fellow sailor.
Und er sagt, wir sollen mal seine Leute fragen.
Speaking of youthful gore,
Okay.
that Loopy Legionnaire really thinks that Orky charm loves him.
I wouldn't let it all within 500
Sauce? Here? In Sicile? Bah! Of all the cursed hunks of rock to land on, Conrad chooses this one. Was too busy dodging fireballs to notice anything myself. But ask around a bit. Could be one of the other men spied something I didn't.
Is that why we never sailed the Youthful Gore anymore?
Speaking of youthful gore, that's
Sauce? Here in Sicile? Ah, of all that cursed hunks of rock to land on, Conrad chooses this one. Now that you mention it, I noticed Dietmar, a fellow merchant travelling with us, carrying a sealed box off the ship during the attack. At the time, I figured he was just escaping with his personal effects. But it could well have been that staff you're talking about.
Ah, Dietmar ist unser erster Verdächtiger. Hast du das mitgekriegt?
Nö.
Weil der hat, als das Schiff angegriffen wurde, eine Kiste, eine versiegelte Kiste von Bord geschleppt.
Well, sure, I saw him slip off the ship, but I haven't a clue where he could possibly be now. Captain Conrad's the man to
Dietmar.
ask for such matters.
Dietmar.
Sauce? Here? In Sicile? Bah! Of all the cursed hunks of rock to land on, Conrad chooses this one. Was too busy dodging fireballs to notice anything myself. but ask around a bit. Could be one of the other men spied something I didn't.
Okay.
Don't know much about him myself, except that he and Captain have partnered up more than a few times for long journeys. Perhaps one of the other crewmen will be able to tell you more.
Okay, dann bleibt nur er hier.
Ready to advance, ready to defend. What can I do for you, comrade?
Nein, falsch. So.
Don't know much about him myself, except that he and Captain have partnered up more than a few times.
So, den Captain fragen.
Heard anything about the whereabouts of the magic stick yet?
Einer der Männer sah, wie Dietmar sich da ein Paket davon machte.
What? That weasel has it for sure. But I'll tell you this. I didn't speak of that stuff to a soul on board. If he's the one who took it, he must have known it was on the ship before stepping foot on her decks. I'm sure he'll make a run for it, probably by boat. I'd look for him on an out-of-sight beach somewhere. He's probably there now, trying to launch a vessel in private, if he hasn't already escaped, that is.
Okay, also müssen wir versteckten Strand suchen, wenn wir auf unsere Map gucken.
Dann sieht man da noch nichts.
Wegpunkt ruhiger Strand könnten wir porten. Da mal suchen.
Mal hinlaufen, die 3 Meter.
Na, wir sehen, hier ist doch ein Portal direkt. Na gut, bevor wir jetzt dieses Boot suchen, machen wir, würde ich sagen, erstmal einen Cut. Und wir sehen euch dann zum nächsten Teil, wenn es wieder heißt, Koopolis spielt Divinity Original Sin Enhanced Edition.